When I got the audition for the show, I was as dubious as anyone about the idea of doing a new Tick without Patrick Warburton. But I think, the notion was, what it came down to is this is such a new version, starting the story at such a different place. It's got such a different tone, it's such a different format and all of that, that it would be confusing if you had the same actor playing such a different version of the character, But, Patrick's a producer on the show, and he's been really supportive. And I think Peter is as much the Tick as Townsend Coleman was and as Patrick Warburton was.
He nails it totally.
It's like Batman. Adam West and Michael Keaton and Christian Bale couldn't be more different. But all three of those guys are Batman. All those performances feel fundamentally correct, even though they're not the same. I think the two things that Ben Edlund has done that's really smart every time he's reinvented the Tick or brought it to a different medium is he sort of, rather than just remaking the last version, he kind of uses the Tick as a funhouse mirror for whatever's going on in superhero culture at the time. The cartoon was very much sort of like in dialogue with the X-Men cartoon and Batman the Animated Series and those cartoons at the time. The comic was in dialogue with the Frank Miller comics and all of that. And I think this version has to stand in relation to the glut of superhero television movies we have right now and the more character-based sort of approach. But I also think, Ben said that the big goal for this show was to make Arthur a real protagonist, because he's always been a little more of a comedic archetype. Oh, what's it like to have a really worried, low-status, anxious person in this high-stakes circumstance? And so, it's what Ben calls, doing the math. To go it makes sense that this guy is someone who's struggling with, neurodiverse issues and all that sort of stuff. And all that's exciting for me because it makes it sort of a new character that I get to play, It's nerve-wracking sometimes when you're playing something that's been played by 4 people before you, or 3 people before, where you are worried about just copying what they're doing, but so much of this character for this iteration is so new that I really get to kind of pave my own way, if that makes sense. Yeah, the thing, that makes me feel really proud is I've seen essays or tweets or comments from people who are neurodiverse, who've dealt with their own emotional issues, mental issues, and what have you, and say this is the first show I've seen where the quote-unquote crazy person is the sane person. Arthur is someone who's been institutionalized and medicated and been through therapy and diagnosed 1,000 different ways, but he's the normal one in this crazy world, which I think is pretty unique. And I think you look at Superman, you go I couldn't be Superman, I don't have that power, and he seems a lot more calm than I do. Arthur isn't capable, and he's not calm, and he's not confident, but he does it anyway because he knows it's the right thing, which is kind of the sort of hero that I want to believe exists in the world. I don't have that kind of courage, but it's very surreal for me to do scenes with the Tick. And I know that it's Peter. He's my co-star, my friend, and an actor I'm working with. But he's so good as the character that it feels like I'm literally having conversations with this character I've grown up loving. When I was at summer camp when I was 11, I during the camp talent show did a routine where I had a talking Tick doll, and I did not a ventriloquist act, but I would squeeze the doll and it would talk and I would respond to it, and it was just a terrible, I don't know, my version of a Charlie McCarthy bit or something. And it's very surreal to 20 years later be doing scenes with the real Tick,
I'll just jump in.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Are you enjoying, you're all done with the second season, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, we finished a couple months ago.
Yeah, and are you such a badass in the second season?
Yeah, Dot's a huge badass in the second season.
It's so exciting.
Fantastic. It's basically been a dream of mine forever to get to have a role where I got to learn how to fight, and I got to do all my own stunts this season. All my own fight stunts. I didn't do some of the really dangerous ones. But it's been a dream of mine to get to do that, and so getting to do it with Dot was like a big surprise, but really, really fun. And the great thing is, this season her storyline exists totally independently. She's no longer motivated by Arthur, whether it's to try to dissuade him from taking part in action or to try to help him in taking part of action. She, I think, has a lot of like anger and resentment from having to fulfill that supporting role constantly. You know,
Hey, angry women.
I mean, let's be real. This season is very timely for Dot, and the arc that she has is, and she confronts Arthur with a lot of the inequity in their relationship and the fact that she's been asked to do all the emotional labor for him. And as soon as she takes that away, he gets really resentful. So that's something that we contend with in both a comedic way and also in a really honest way. And how Dot finding her own like empowerment and her own agency, her own agenda, how that kind of wounds the people around her who are used to having her fulfill a certain role for them. I know, I see your face, and I think you're going to be very happy with how it pans out for her. To be quite honest, you know, I'm very much a feminist, and I am very happy to say that I got to have a lot of input as well. And, you know, Ben and Barry are both incredibly supportive and feminists themselves, but, like, I got to have a lot of input in Dot's arc this season, in her responses to things. You know, like, it was very collaborative in terms of finding her anger, finding how she navigates her way out of that, and finds her own agenda.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. I'm very
I love you so much.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much.
Like wanting to cosplay you.
Oh, really? That would have been so cool. There's someone that I saw on Twitter that she looks amazing. Like, she got it down to, like, the buttons. Her makeup looks great. I hope I see her.
So how's the con been for you?
How's the what?
How's the con been for you? Having fun?
The convent?
No, the con been. How's the con been for you, Lynn?
I was like, is she thinking of last season when he was drumming downstairs? It's been great. It's been super chill. It's nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see the fans. We have our panel at 4. This season, I really love the twist and how her new angle on how she's going to take over the world. And I can't give too much away, but the costume's really cool. I don't even know if I can say that, but I'm saying it. Yeah, it's still badass. She just gets more badass.
You know, that's one of the things about the new reiteration. All the women are bad.
They're fierce.
Yeah,
they're super fierce.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you and Dot, I mean,
Thank you.
Take your prisoners.
Yeah, it's
really
it's really nice.
So
It's really, really fun.
You guys are all like.
No. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're going for it. Yeah.
Although the Jackie Earl Haley thing was really weird.
What? Which part?
As your
Mentor?
Love and
It was an obsession, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that. You know, like it's one of those things that you just. I think it was more of like a father figure. I mean,
okay.
you know, kind of how we played it, or thought we played it.
Well, I didn't read it that way, but I respect your.
You read it like a love story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I had originally read it, and that's how I was gonna play it. And then when it was like, no, it's more like a father figure, and I was like, oh,
That makes it
okay.
more complicated.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So, has there been anything particular, like, you know, behind the scenes or, you know, in the process that, like, you want to talk about that's been really fun for you? Or...
I mean, I wish I could talk about it, but I did have one day where we were shooting under the bridge, up in Harlem, and they closed down the street, and I was fighting someone. And it was really cool to be under the bridge doing that with like a fake traffic jam. It felt pretty badass. I was on top of a car smushing someone. That's all I could say though. I don't even know if I should have said that.
Well, she's evil and she fights. I mean, that's we need to see more women doing that.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. Yeah.
Anything else you can add or you want to?
No, I mean, just tune in. March.
No,
But I think my storyline's really, really exceptional.
and you're not going anywhere. We're going to see lots of more Lint, right?
I hope so, yeah. I hope so. You never know, but I hope so.
Well, we're fans. We're
Thank
right
you
in.
so much. I
And
really
how's
appreciate
it
it.
been with the fandom? Have you been like having good interactions with the fandom?
Not here right now. Like, it seems like we've pretty much just been doing this. But fans are amazing. They're wonderful. Yeah, they're so
Do you get
supportive.
live on Twitter and like?
I do. I get a lot for the other show that I'm on, Jane the Virgin.
Oh, okay.
I get a lot for that. But yeah, I do, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I know how lucky I am, so it's a really fun role to play. So I'm like, yeah, isn't it cool? Like, I'm not cool about it. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome, you know? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So nice meeting you.